So when I was young, really young, I used to have night terrors as far back as I could possibly remember. And when I had went to live with my dad and my stepmom, I was having them so badly that I would I would have one of these night terrors, and I would start screaming and running to the bathroom and lock myself in and put myself in the corner and just scream and cry, get away from me, get away from me. And I was asleep. I didn't remember any of this. My dad would have to take the hinge off the door, and my stepmom would have to talk me through the dream and out and into waking up, because you never want to wake somebody up, right? So she would talk me into waking up and talk me out of the dream. And then afterwards, she would ask me what I was dreaming about, and I could never tell her because I didn't remember. I had no memory of it, just that I was really scared. It got so bad that my dad had to take the lock off the door of the bathroom because it was happening so often. Now, this trickled on into my adulthood, but with less extreme. So I was still having these demonic nightmares, but I was not having them to the point that I was wake up screaming in the bathroom. I would sometimes sleepwalk. I would sometimes talk in my sleep, and most of the time I would just wake up and not be able to go back to sleep because I was so shaken by the dream. And when I became a Christian, God gave me the gift of talking in tongues. So every time this would happen, I would wake up in the middle of the night and this would happen. I would start speaking in tongues until I could go back to sleep again. And when I went back to sleep, I didn't have that issue. But sometimes I still have those issues. I mean, if I don't pray over my sleep, I still have those issues. So I was talking to someone recently who also has those issues and did not know what to do and had been avoiding sleep because she kept having these dreams. So I suggested to her that she did some of the things that I do. Now, these are some of the things that I do. I talk in tongues. You can. She doesn't have that gift. So another thing that I do is before I go to sleep, I pray over my dreams. I pray over my sleep. I pray for good, restful sleep, and I pray and rebuke all demonic, I can talk, dreams, and I replace them with Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit in my dreams, along with discernment. Now, when you rebuke anything demonic, you always want to replace the space with something of God. So I replace the space with the Holy Spirit and ask for discernment in my dreams. I do that. And then I pray the armor of God over myself. And if you don't know where the armor of God prayer is, it's in the book of Ephesians, and it's 6 through 11. I take that back. It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and it's 11 through 20. And pray that prayer over you. That is your weapons against the demonic. Then I also pray Psalms 91, which is a prayer of protection over my dreams, as well as my family and myself. And I do this every night before I go to sleep. And if I do this, I don't have the nightmares. But if I wake up and then go back to sleep and do not rebuke the demonic dreams and replace them with the Holy Spirit before I go back to sleep, I will have these dreams again. Anywhere the evil one can get in, he's going to try to get in there. So you got to pray it again if you are waking up in the middle of the night. Now, you don't have to pray the armor of God in the Psalms 91 but one time, but rebuke the demonic dreams, replace them with the Holy Spirit discernment, every time you wake up. so that the demonic has no foothold to get in. I do this every night, and this helps me. And if I do have a nightmare, and I wake up, I pray in tongues. But if you don't pray in tongues, just pray, start talking to God until you go to sleep. That helps. Trust me, that helps. Now, I gave this advice to my friend, and she said it was starting to help her. But you got to kind of believe. You got to believe in God. You got to know that God has your back and He can protect you. Because if you have any doubt, this is not going to work. Now, everyone has dreams. Everybody will have demonic dreams. The demonic dreams usually start for most people when they're very young, because the devil's trying to shake you and keep you from following God, right? And that's his way of doing it. I don't know how he thinks that's going to work, but he does it. Sometimes it's caused from trauma. Mine was partly caused from trauma, and my friend's was caused from trauma. But also it is caused from somewhere in your life there was a foothold for the demonic to get in. And I don't know exactly. Mine was probably, I don't know. We used to watch a lot of scary movies, and that was probably a good foothold for him to get in. So it's a good idea if you have children not to watch scary movies with them. It's a good idea not to watch scary movies, period. But that's entirely your option. Now, I also sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and cannot go back to sleep. And 3 o'clock is usually about that time. And for most people, I think that if they're going to wake up, they wake up about that time and don't understand why they're awake and why they can't go back to sleep. Well, let me tell you, this is usually a time when God, and it's not always 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes it's a different time. But this is a time when God will call you to pray. If you cannot go back to sleep, a lot of times it's because you need to pray. Maybe for somebody you know, maybe for somebody you don't know. But it is a good time for you to pray. And if you pray in tongues, pray in tongues. If you do not pray in tongues, then just pray God's will be done. And for protection over whoever it is you're supposed to be praying for. Even if you don't know who it is, just say, I ask for protection over the person I'm praying for. There have been times when I have been called to pray in the middle of the night, not knowing who I was being called to pray for. And the next day found out that it was somebody that I knew, and had I not prayed, things could have went a whole different way. So it might not always be somebody you know. It could be somebody you don't know. But it also could be somebody you do know. And if you're called to pray, you would feel really bad if you didn't pray and then found out something happened because you didn't pray. Now, sometimes too, God just wants you to talk to him because he's been trying to get your attention during the day and you've been too busy. So he's like, okay, well then we're going to talk tonight. And that does happen too. Anyway, I hope this blesses you, and I hope if you know someone else who is having these issues, that you will share this with them so they can be blessed as well. And don't get hung up on the fact that you're having these dreams, because a lot of people have these dreams. The evil one, a lot of times, if he can't get to you during the day, if he can't get to you with spiritual warfare any other time, he will attack your dreams. It's a form of spiritual warfare. And a lot of times he'll make you think something bad is going to happen. And that is not the case in 99.9% of the time. So if you're feeling like something bad's going to happen and you can't shake the feeling, pray to God and ask him to take that feeling away from you and to protect you from the evil one. And to protect whoever it is you think something bad's going to happen to. Anyway, that is my advice for that, and I hope it helps you. God bless you and good night.